Right now at noon, authorities in Anderson, Missouri respond to a burglary and find a nude man instead.
And we've got a couple of little thunderstorms down here just to the south and east of Monette. We're going to see more scattered storms as the afternoon progresses. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And a deer ends up causing a rear-end crash in Jasper County, Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Anderson, Missouri respond to a burglary in progress, but they find a naked man. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Amber Jenkins. On Monday at almost 1 in the afternoon, Anderson Police Department responded to a burglary in progress near the 1500 block of Lodgepole Avenue. The homeowner says she walked into her living room of her house just to find a nude man sitting on her couch. She left the residence and called 911. APD responded and set up a perimeter around the residence. They began making announcements to the man inside after a short standoff in which the man refused to leave. De-escalation techniques were used. The man fled into a backyard where he was detained without incident. Charges were issued for burglary, felony vandalism, and resisting arrest. Authorities arrest a man on a felony warrant after a homeowner and witnesses chased him down the street. Reports of a man breaking windows from a house alerted Iowa County 911. The homeowner and witnesses chased the man down the street until he was out of sight. When Quapaw marshals spotted a man matching the description, they began to question him. He ran towards a nearby housing complex. Authorities deployed a K-9 unit, which apprehended the suspect. The suspect had 2 active Iowa County warrants for distribution and possession of controlled dangerous substances. Marshals also have further charges pending. We will have more on this story as it develops on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's Chris with the forecast.
Yeah, we've had a pretty decent day for most of us. Those showers along the I-49 corridor finally died down, but they did spawn some additional scattered storms now in Berry County. First, let's take a look. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline, looking off to the south. You can see a few clouds out there and some sunshine. And as we take a look at the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, of course, just south of Pittsburgh, you can see we've got plentiful sunshine at that location this afternoon. So let's take a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. So here we are in Berry County, just out here to the southeast of Monette. We've got this little thunderstorm. Now this has fired up off of what died out from this morning. It's not severe, it's not strong, but we do have a couple of lightning strikes here and there with it. So we're going to see more of these scattered storms as the afternoon progresses. We started yesterday at 59, so right about where we should be, and our high made it up to 85. So yeah, above average, but not significantly above average. Temperatures around the region, though, we are mild for sure. You go further west where there's been more sunshine through the morning. You got 83 Yates Center, 84 in Chanute already, 82 Parsons. And you start heading east where we had some clouds from that rain this morning. We have 80 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Joplin, 81 Miami, 77 Neosho, and 72 in Monette right now. So here's what we're keeping an eye on. Still have those warm temperatures with a couple of isolated storms here and there. Scattered storm chances continuing throughout this week. And as mentioned, temperatures will continue to remain warm. In fact, they're going to warm up a little bit more. We'll talk about that and these rain chances in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Amber?
Thank you, Chris. Authorities surround a home in the Royal Heights neighborhood in Joplin. Joplin Police Department execute a contain and call out in the Royal Heights neighborhood in response to a domestic situation. Officers surrounded a residence in the 2100 block of East Odessa and announced on a bullhorn for the occupants to exit the residence. JPD say they entered the home looking for a suspect, but once inside the residence, no one was located. Now, this is an ongoing investigation, and you can read more about this story as it developed. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A Pittsburgh woman is sentenced for a murder that happened last year. Authorities say Verla Gillen shot and killed Harlan Sheets of Pittsburgh after an argument. She recently pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter and aggravated burglary. She is sentenced to 6 years in prison. A rear-ender crash begins when a vehicle strikes a deer in Jasper County, Missouri. Reports of a crash along eastbound I-44 near mile marker 15.4 alerted Jasper County Emergency 911. Responding authorities discovered a rear-end crash after the first vehicle struck a deer. The driver of the first vehicle suffered moderate injuries. His vehicle became disabled after striking the deer. The driver of the second vehicle suffered serious injuries when she struck the disabled vehicle. A 1-year-old child was in that vehicle, and it only suffered minor injuries. 9 people were shot yesterday in Hollywood Beach, Florida, after an argument resulted in gunfire. So far, no one has died, but police say the victims' ages from just 1 year old to 65 years old. One person is in custody, but the other one is still at large. Kristen Benedez has more.
Memorial Day beachgoers scrambled for cover after gunfire erupted on the Hollywood Beach Broadwalk in Florida Monday afternoon.
I heard several gunshots, seen a crowd of people running through here, and then we heard like 3 more shots down the street.
Police say it began with an argument between 2 groups of people near the Margaritaville resort that then took a violent turn.
To have an altercation with guns in a public setting with thousands of people around them is beyond reckless.
Authorities confirmed that 9 victims were taken to area hospitals with gunshot wounds, including 4 minors.
I saw a young man was on the ground bleeding, and they were applying pressure to try to prevent the bleeding.
Access to parts of the beach was blocked off overnight as investigators combed the area. Hollywood police are asking members of the public for any video or pictures from around the time of the shooting.
These that were involved in the incident today will be held accountable for their actions.
Police say 1 person of interest has been detained, and they are still looking for another. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Hollywood Beach, Florida.
Police gave an update on the shooting of the victims overnight. One went into surgery while the others remain in stable condition. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in your first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at Noon. And KOAM Sagoon Bomadelli takes us to a gym where taking up a workout challenge means honoring fallen veterans. And a little later, we're making a perfect portobello pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. A group of local CrossFit enthusiasts gathered together to run a race in honor of Memorial Day. KOAM's Sagoon Bomadelli was there and has more.
Gym members at the Midwestern-built CrossFit gym in Joplin gathered together to honor Memorial Day by taking on the Muff Challenge.
So it's a workout for Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy. We do it every year. It's kind of a CrossFit tradition, so just another year to knock it out.
The Muff Challenge consists of a series of exercises.
A 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and another mile run. And if you do the real version, do it with a vest.
Although the workout is in Lieutenant Murphy's name, it is also for everyone who has paid the ultimate sacrifice.
It's a workout that I think is a tribute to his legacy, but personally I think this workout is something that we do for all those that did serve and gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Hunter says Memorial Day is important because it shows what selfless sacrifice means.
Realize sometimes what it takes to have such an awesome country, sacrifices made by men and women to have what we do have. As terrible as it is, they had to do what they had to do to make our life better.
Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
In Joplin, Sagoon Bomadelli, KOAM News.
Over 30 people participated in the challenge. Pittsburgh State University also honored veterans with a Memorial Day program at the PSU Veterans Memorial. The program featured traditional elements of Memorial Day ceremonies, including a color guard comprised of cadets from PSU's ROTC program and the playing of taps and singing of the national anthem by PSU music students.
I know 2 of these people, Rick Ramsey and John Kopfer, here on panel 40E. These are not names to me. These are friends.
The recording of the event can be viewed anytime on the PSU Veterans Memorial page. Pitt State University's president, Dan Shipp, just returned to Gorilla Nation after biking around the state of Kansas. The purpose of the trip was to meet potential and future students and to earn some money for those students. During the biking trip, PSU earned $7.6 million in pledges and met over 1,000 friends.
We did it. Over 800 miles covered. We saw some amazing places, had the chance to meet some amazing people, connect with our alumni along the way.
You can read more about this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Still to come on KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Join us today as I share what I learned when I visited the mushroom capital of the world. It was really cool, and to this day, I still have a hard time believing it.
And in addition to today's scattered thunderstorms, we have more on the way this week. We'll talk about those rain chances and the warm weather when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So we had some scattered showers, even a couple of thunderstorms just hanging around the I-49 corridor this morning. Those have since died out, and they've allowed for some clearing and some warmer weather out there. But they've also helped trigger a little thunderstorm that's now in the northeastern portions of Berry County, and a little shower on the southeastern side of the county as well. So some of this rain impacted Monette earlier. So when we take a look at temperatures, you'll see the impact it had on temperatures. Nothing significant out of this. It's not strong, it's not severe, but we do have this little thunder shower out there. So here's a look at that rain activity from this morning. It really just hugged the I-49 corridor for the longest time before it just finally began to break up, but then allowed for some additional development down here in Berry County. We're going to see additional development later today as well, and because of the atmosphere and how warm it is, there is the possibility now of maybe a strong storm or two. This is a very low-end possibility, but our friends at the Storm Prediction Center have added that to us. So there's a very low, almost non-existent tornado threat, but we do have a low-end hail risk for the counties highlighted in brown and a low-end wind risk for some damaging wind gusts for the counties highlighted in brown on that side. So again, this is a very low-end risk, but it is there. And here's what we're looking at in terms of that future development. We go just a few hours down the road, we get a few more of these scattered thunderstorms beginning to develop across the area. We're talking around Fort Scott, Nevada, just to the north of Lamar and Pittsburgh. Got some additional thunderstorms possible around the Monette area and some activity trying to develop across parts of Cherokee County and into Jasper and Newton counties. So that'll be later this afternoon by about 4. Here we are at 6. We have a few more of these scattered thunderstorms around. So this is why they've added that window for the possibility for a couple of these to get maybe a little more organized and produce some small hail and some gusty winds out there. So don't be surprised if that happens, but overall that risk is low. Now as we go later into the evening, here we are by 9, we've just got a couple of dying showers out there, and that's going to be the end of that activity. And we'll stay quiet until we head into tomorrow afternoon, when we'll see another round of showers and thunderstorms that'll be scattered again, but that possibility will exist. Here we are by 2. Got some scattered storms kind of hiding behind the temperature indicator over Joplin, and some back in Washington County in Oklahoma. And we'll see those scattered storms again as we go through the afternoon and into the evening hours for us on our Wednesday. And we'll see another round of possible scattered thunderstorms as we head into Thursday afternoon as well. So these are working off daytime heating. So as we lose that and it cools off, they die out overnight and start to return in the afternoon. So here we are on Thursday, 1 o'clock. More of those scattered showers and thunderstorms even in the evening on Thursday, while they've still got some daytime heating to work with out there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line showing some clouds out there and some sun. And we're getting some sunshine here on the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Just got a handful of clouds out there across the Joplin area. 80 degrees. Feels like 82. It is a bit on the muggy side, and we've got a variable breeze at about 4. Over in Pittsburgh, we are sitting at 80 degrees, also feeling like 82. So again, still a little bit on the muggy side out there. And what I was talking about with those temperatures, 72 now in Monette, 77 in Neosho. We got 80, of course, in Joplin, Pittsburgh, 82 Parsons, and 84 in Chanute. So as we go through the rest of our day, again, highs still reaching mid-80s, maybe even some upper 80s out there, especially out west where we got more sunshine. Lows tonight dropping back into the lower 60s. And then we'll see this repeating pattern of pop-up thunderstorm chances continue all the way through the middle of next week. Temperatures remaining mid to upper 80s through at least next Tuesday, maybe even close to 90 by Thursday. And then they'll start to cool down just a bit in lower 80s, upper 70s by the middle of next week. But still got to deal with these pop-up storms. And again, later this evening could be a stray strong storm or two, but that overall risk is relatively low at this point.
Man, I still remember last summer where we had them days where it was just 80, just nonstop. So I'm excited for that, Thursday, where it's going to hit 77?
Next Thursday, back into the upper 70s.
Yeah, that's much, much better. I'm looking forward. Thank you, Chris. Stick around. We're making a perfect portobello pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen right after the break. Today, Howard is sharing a meaningful dish. It's inspired from his visit to the mushroom capital of the world. We're making a perfect portobello pizza in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Being a big mushroom lover, I remember a few years back when I had the good fortune to visit Kennett Square, Pennsylvania, which happens to be the mushroom capital of the world. There, I got to see firsthand how mushrooms grow inside in what look like old army barracks. And yes, they grow in the dark. Another really cool thing that I learned that day is that portobello mushrooms, like these, are simply cremini mushrooms that are left to grow for a few extra days. And now I'd like to share with you a way to turn these into a mouth-watering veggie pizza. We start by brushing both sides of a few portobello mushrooms with olive oil that we mix with some minced garlic and season them with salt and pepper. Then mozzarella cheese goes on each one, and we top them with slices of grilled tomato. Pop these into a hot oven, and when the cheese is melted and the mushroom is super tender, they're done. A little fresh basil, and these are ready to serve for a fill-you-up lunch or a nice change of pace summertime dinner. To get the recipe for what we call our perfect portobello pizza, all you have to do is visit our website. I know you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fresh and flavor-packed way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. You can just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Still looking at additional scattered storms as we head into the afternoon today. This will repeat all the way through at least next Monday. Temperatures warming up, though, mid to upper 80s, pushing near 90 on Thursday. But, of course, the warmer it gets during the day, the warmer the overnights get as they hover right around the mid-60s. So some much-needed rain chances, albeit a bit scattered and a little bit warmer at the same time.
Well, sounds good. What's going on at the 5?
A lot at 5 coming up. Leaders from nearly 200 nations are on a mission to bring an end to global plastic pollution. Talks are underway in Paris to produce a landmark treaty to tackle the issue. The United Nations Environmental Chief says, quote, "We cannot recycle our way out of this mess," and is pushing for an overhaul on how products are made. Plus, an event this week will provide thousands of dollars for local cancer patients, and Joplin's History and Mineral Museum is making a priority to bring back native wildflowers with the Prairie Project. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
And, of course, thank you for joining us at KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.